Inflation. Who cares? Do you care? I mean, come on. We're trying to build back better here. Let's get into it on the Derek O'Shea Show. Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show, where we discuss culture, news, politics, and more. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the revolution. I'm a just island boy. Sorry. I hope you guys are having a freaking fantastic day. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me, enjoy time with me, party with me. We're having a great time. If you want to support my show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Derek O'Shea Show. I greatly appreciate it. I put a lot of time and effort into this. Buymeacoffee.com/Derek O'Shea Show. Also, majority of my people that watch my content on YouTube aren't subscribers, so please hit the subscribe button and follow me and share this video on all platforms. Let's get into the news. Biden inflation is up 6.2%. Highest since 1990. Congratulations, Joe Biden. You're just as incredible as Jimmy Carter in so many ways. I mean, I always thought when Biden was coming in hot and doing his thing that it wasn't going to be like Jimmy Carter, even though a lot of people said he is Jimmy Carter with just a different mask on. But let's get into this article. Biden says reversing rampant inflation is a top priority. Don't you love how a lot of crises, if you will, in this administration are created? It's almost like they create the problem and then they want to fix the problem and say, look, see, I fixed the problem that I initially created. It's like the energy secretary, as we've been talking about the last few days, her just laughing about what you are paying at the pump. It's a joke to her. It's not. It's like there's no control. There's nothing I could do. It's OPEC doing the prices. I can't do anything, though much of what you're paying for is due to policies that Biden has pushed, like canceling a pipeline, expanding oil production and stuff like that. Remember when we were energy independent? Now, instead of being energy independent, we are focused on allowing other countries to cash in on the energy independence, and we're just going to allow them to destroy the earth. Because they don't have the same standards we have. Because, it's all about green energy and making us feel good. We're not producing oil anymore, but we're forcing, Russia and China and these smaller countries to continue the oil production who don't have the same standards as we do. And yet they think they're being environmentalists. So when these countries produce catastrophic environmental effects, we're back here going, well, at least it wasn't us, though we're the reason they're producing more than ever because they have to make up for what we're not even doing here. It makes no sense. All my liberal friends, they always say these things like, well, we got to stop oil production. We got to move towards green energy and stuff like that. It's just not in the cards yet. But instead of, just encouraging the private sector to be the private sector, because if green energy is this good and everyone's into it, as the media says, everyone is buying into it, everyone wants this kind of green energy, then the private sector will explode in green technology. It just will. If there's a demand for something and a company will create something, that's just how it is. If there's a way for a company to make money, they will do it. That's why it's so funny when all these politicians talk about this, the bad oil man. They just want their money. I'm like, yeah, right. Like green energy sources don't want their money too. Can you imagine being a solar panel distributor and they're just like, we're just in this for the feel good factor. We don't care if President Biden or Obama talk about our amazing solar panels. We don't care. Actually, we love it, and we want them to keep pushing it. Despite how inefficient they are and how long they last, it's not a big deal. We want you to continue to push it. That solar panel will charge your cell phone. And I'm not against solar panels. I'm not. Are they as efficient and amazing as nuclear energy? I don't know. You tell me. All right, let's get into the inflation, though, because as always, inflation is a tax on the poor, is a tax on the middle class. It just is. Because you and me are having to put up the money for it. While the rich, 6.2% paying more. If you're Jeff Bezos and you have to pay 6.2% more for your groceries, do you think you care? No. But if you're in the lower tax bracket and you're making under $100,000 and below, do you think 6.2% will affect you and your family? Abso-freaking-lutely. But of course, Biden says it's his top priority because he cares about you. He's a good guy. He'll get ice cream with you. He'll wear your grandpa's diaper if you let him. It's the highest level in 31 years, this inflation. 31 years. And what they'll tell you is it's just the pandemic. We're just coming out of a pandemic. There's a high demand, higher than it's ever been in 31 years, which is just absolutely silly. It has nothing to do with people not working. It has nothing to do with gas prices. It has nothing to do with the bottleneck going on in the port. It has nothing to do with the EPA standards and all these standards that California has pushed on the port system. It has nothing to do with truckers and what they're forced to do. It has nothing to do with that. It's COVID. All right? And so if you just say anything else, it's because you're a racist, homophobe, white supremacist, bigot. It's the highest level in 31 years. Manchin slams the president. I love when a good article says slams. Slams the president for claiming price jumps are transitory and says it's getting worse because it is obviously it's getting worse. It's just like so silly. I know I bring up the Chipotle a lot because that's how fancy of a freaking person I am. All right. So 6.2 is a big price jump for me because Chipotle is high dining. All right. But I was paying like $7 for my burrito last year. Now it's like $13, $14. And you think that doesn't affect you? So you think last year when you're making $8, $9 an hour, and this year you're making $12 an hour, and the burrito costs more than what you make an hour, and you're like, well, thank God the minimum wage went up, but I still can't afford anything. It's like conservative economists have said things like, I freaking told you so. You can pay more per hour, but then you think the company is just going to take on those that price increase? No, they'll push it on to you and me. Inflation has reached the highest point in 31 years as prices everyday consumers rose 6.2% in October 2021, the highest it's been since November 1990. Congratulations, Joe Biden. You're doing a fantastic job. I just watched a Jimmy Kimmel clip passing around. Kamala Harris's approval rating is like 28%, and his big thing was that she looks like an evil person trying to kill Joe Biden, which is funny. But also, he threw in there, obviously it has to do with sexism and racism. It has nothing to do with actual policy being pushed, Jimmy Kimmel, correct? It has everything to do with racism. Because everything, if you can use the lens of racism, any kind of disparity, any kind of something that's not fair, equity or whatever, it has to do with sexism or racism. You just throw it in there. It's not that you're doing a crappy job. It's not that you're doing a horrible job and crippling people's wallets and pushing agendas that people aren't for, like forcing people to get a vaccine mandate. I know the majority of Americans support it, quote unquote. Who are these majorities? Where is this poll being produced? Isn't people in D.C., New York, and California? Because I'm not sure if they speak for the general public, but you know how the media works. The Consumer Price Index was released on Wednesday, which shows the gas prices jumped a whopping 59%. 59% last year as the cost of steak increased 24%. 59% for gas. As the administration is considering shutting down the Michigan pipeline as well, right? They're looking into it. They're sending environmentalists up there to study the effects. It's like, we'll shut down our production. We'll shut down how clean and efficient we are. Yes, we have an occasional spill every once in a while, but no, instead we'll push it to these other countries that don't have the same regulations as us and ask them to produce and create oil, and then ask them to ship that oil all the way across to the United States. And we say, we're being energy efficient and green. It's ridiculous. It makes no freaking logical sense. But that's not what it's about. It's not about logical sense. It's not about stopping gas production here. It's about sending a message and creating a narrative and pushing the green energy agenda, whether it's efficient or not. It's about the narrative. It's about the feel-good factor. It's about the emotion, because emotion drives people to the polls, not as much your wallet. Though, when your wallet is being crippled, your emotion and anger heightens. When not factoring in food and energy prices, the so-called CPI was 0.6% from September in 2021 and 6.2% last year. The inflation is driven at least in part to the economy's resurgence of widespread coronavirus pandemic shutdowns. Yes, that is some part of it. But to act like it's the part is just silly. There is demand more than last year. Sure. I don't know how much more of a demand, but maybe some. But to say that's the driving factor is just silly. It sounds like a narrative and it feels like a narrative, so therefore it probably is a narrative. They are also pushing the lack of workers and wage increases onto consumers. Of course they are. As always, you want to increase the wage of people getting paid? Who pays for that? You and me. Just how it is. That's why you can get a freaking Nike shoe for $60 because it was created by people in another country who don't get paid shizzle, okay? And so you get to have a cheap shoe. That's why if you buy clothing created in America where people are paid well, that's why it costs way more than your clothing from China, because they're paid crap. So if people are paid more here, you're going to pay more for your goods. Just makes common sense. But his $1.2 trillion Build Back Better plan is expected to make the situation worse, and it will. As you print more money, you create more inflation. And Biden administration is considering the inflation a high priority. Doesn't that make you feel good on the inside when an administration that encourages and promotes and pushes more inflation by their policy, but then comes out and tells you, we're looking into this. We're going to do everything we can. We're going to find out what's going on because we can't figure it out for ourselves, or they're just straight up lying to you. If it passes, the Build Back Better plan, which it seems like it's going to, but I can't tell. I can't tell if the Republicans are going to finally reject it, Biden and all that stuff. You know, progressives are causing a storm. It's nice to see some progressives having a backbone because there's a lot of Republicans in Congress that don't, and in the Senate. If it passes in the current form, the United States will have the highest top income tax in the world. The highest top income tax in the world. And you think these rich people are just going to continue to do their business here? If you're that rich, you're not dumb. You just go to another country that supports that. That's why this like EU accord where they're like, we're going to all do a global flat tax. Except for the countries that aren't part of the accord. Please don't take your business there. God, don't do it. They're forcibly taking jobs away from Americans. And they're taking good jobs away to other countries to build up because the rich people want to stay rich. Always. If you have a lot of money, you just want to give this administration and this government more money because they're so efficient. No, you go to another country. Meanwhile, a Federal Reserve report released on Tuesday shows that the household debt is at a record high. Shout out to high debt. We're not at Jimmy Carter levels. We're not at 1980 levels, but we're definitely getting there. Bacon is up 20%. Oh my God. Why do people talk about bacon so much? Do you eat bacon every single day? I don't. Did you know that bacon is up 20%? Steak is up 24%. That affects me. I eat a lot of steak. I enjoy. Cereal is up 4.5%. That's when you know how crappy that food is for you. Chris at 4.5. Fuel oil is up 59%. Eggs are up 11.6%, which I eat a lot of eggs. Furniture is up 12%. Laundry equipment 15%. Used cars up 26%. Now's the time to sell a used car if you don't need it. Sporting goods is up 8.7%. These are all just great things. Biden is doing a fantastic job. Biden is doing everything he can do to make your life better. Build back better. I love when he yells in the microphone. Build back better. It's your children. Your children are taken away. God, relax. Jeez. This administration is creating crisis after crisis. They could be addressing the issue, helping ease tensions for the American people, making lives better. Opening up that pipeline they shut down at the day one of the administration. Ergo, creating more jobs, helping lower gas prices, pushing more efficiency. You know, at the same time, we could be producing oil and at the same time pushing for green energy. But green energy that they're pushing is way more expensive than oil, so it doesn't make any sense. Do nuclear energy like France is doing right now? Let's not do that. Could you imagine if we had nuclear energy here? Your heating bill would be like 25 cents. It would be so low, it's ridiculous. But no, we can't have that nuclear energy. We don't want to end up like Japan and Fukushima and Ukraine. I don't want that. Chernobyl? What's going on? It's 2021, people. Let's grow. Let's build back better. This plan, this infrastructure deal, they push it like we're building roads, clean energy, clean water, internet for all. And that's all they're saying. But there's so much more in this bill, as always, with politicians. I'm not saying Democrats. I'm saying all politicians. They all do it. Republicans, Democrats, they create a bill, they push a bill, and act like the only thing in the bill is these three things. And it's not. And the American people lose out in the end. And we get crippled. And the inflation gets passed on to you. And we just put up with it. It makes no sense to me. It literally makes no sense. So what are you going to do at the polls? What are you going to do at the ballot box? Are you going to wake up to this? This continuing push of inflation? This guy, the Biden administration, is doing everything in his power to study and figure out and make it a top priority to ease the inflation on the American people. Do you believe that? How could you? How could you, when you see a spending bill like this and you see inflation rise up like that, and we think, you know what? He's doing everything he can as they consider shutting down another pipeline, in the one in Michigan. This administration does not care about your inflation. Stop thinking they do. They don't care about what you pay at the gas pump. They don't care about what you pay at the grocery store. They just care about their narrative and their agenda. And is there a narrative agenda to cripple the American people and do the whole reset thing? I don't know. You tell me. Because it sure as hell seems that way. These policies don't make sense. And I don't understand how liberals that comment on my videos see stuff like inflation and they just go, oh, it's due to COVID. That's it. That's all your brain power can handle? Is that it? It's all you can comprehend mentally? Is that it has to be just one thing. And we'll get through it. We'll find a way. It's not that we need to vote these people out and get different people with different ideas in. We're doing our best. We're studying the effects of climate change. We're studying the effects of the pipeline energy. in its efficiency. Instead, we'll push that production onto Russia and China, where they aren't even a part of the same standards we sign at the Paris Climate Accord. But as always, the American people lose out in the end because we continue to vote these people in. I don't understand. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts on the inflation and the effects. Is it affecting you? Do you care about the inflation? Do you care about what's going on in the world? Do you care about what you pay at the gas pump? Do you consider what you're paying at the gas pump a good thing? You say, you know what? I'm ready for green energy. I'm ready for an electric vehicle now. So I don't care what I pay as long as it pushes and cripples the American people to buy electric. And then we'll all get on that grid and we'll all plug our cars in at the end of the night and see what it does to our power grid system. Don't worry. We're using sun and wind energy to power those things. It's not that we'll have to fire up our coal plants again. It's not a big deal because it's cheap. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching The Derek O'Shea Show. I don't want to be doom and gloom. There's always hope. The hope is to vote this kind of person out. I don't understand how anyone could be for this, but it's just another reminder there are people living in two different realities in this world. One where inflation is a great thing, and it's okay, it's transitory, it's going to go away, it's COVID related, and that's it. And then there's another reality of, sure, COVID related, absolutely, but also there are many other factors that push this, including what Joe Biden does every day as a policy. As, you know, Janet Yellen, she's trying her best. God. Cheers to the world ending. Have a great day. And as always, go to my YouTube channel, watch me live for the Joe Biden Build Back Better speech today. Good God, that's going to be a good old time. Maybe he'll yell at us. Maybe he'll whisper in the mic. I don't know. I don't know if we have enough time. Have a great day. And as always, I'll catch you on the next episode of The Derek O'Shea Show. God, sorry.